So we figured we would begin this journey with where our journey began. This is back in 2025, sometime around February, before we even thought about creating a YouTube channel, before we had actually confirmed this is what we're doing. This is still what we were thinking about. We had been doing a couple of months of research on what it would be to own a travel trailer, and we were confident that we wanted to own a travel trailer, weren't sure exactly what we wanted or needed yet, and weren't really entirely sure what we were looking at or for. The trailer was not connected to power, so nothing actually worked at the time during our inspection. Walking up, inspecting the trailer jack and looking at the stabilizers. Of course, we didn't actually do anything with the stabilizers to actuate them to see if they would extend and retract. Carla had a co-worker that her mother had a trailer for sale, and it was an older trailer, having been built back in the mid-80s. They were selling it relatively inexpensively. They were asking something in the range of $3,000 or $4,000 for it. Might need to reseal the window on the door. Okay. It's easy enough. You just have to take it apart and put some sealant in there. There's some cracking on the plastic around the door. We decided to go take a look at it to see if it was even something we were interested in, and we weren't even sure how to do a trailer inspection. So we Googled how to do a trailer inspection and got what we could come up with and learned as much as we could, stepped into it, and showed up at their place. I mean, she said eventually the awning will need to be replaced, but I would probably leave it for now. Opening up the water heater, having worked with and understanding water heaters in homes, primarily I don't even understand exactly how it works. I had decided to video record the inspection because we knew that there was a lot we didn't know, and that we were going to go through, look at everything, and see what we could see based on the knowledge we had, and then review the video and see if we could find out more online as we went along. The people offering the trailer had already informed us that the tires were shot and would need to be replaced, so that was not really a concern. Exterior shower's got a lock on it, so we might have to ask for a key. We had seen that, very much like boats, travel trailers are highly susceptible to water intake of any sort, and a little bit of damage can go a long way. So we were checking around the windows and the seals to see if we could find any evidence of water damage. Passing right by the black and gray water tank. Anyone who knows me knows that dealing with human excrement in any sort is an anathema to me. I prefer to avoid it in as many ways as possible. I pass by this thing without even touching it, because at that point I am practically scared of it. Having the trailer that we ultimately bought, I'm really glad that we didn't go with this. I love that the power cord disconnects at both ends on the trailer that we have. Cable, potable water fill, exhaust, opening up the heater system on this trailer. I wasn't sure at the time what I was looking at all. That's how we get to it. To be perfectly honest, I still can't tell you exactly what I'm looking at with that heater. I really need to do some more work with our heater to fully understand how they operate and how best to inspect and check them out. So, looks like it lights electrically. And it looks like it lights gas to heat it. All right. It's a vent.
That looks like it comes out.
Venting, but yeah, it's a cover. It's a vent cover.
Okay.
Not sure what we're venting. So that would be a manual check. But I mean, the rubber seals are really good. I can show you the one I was talking about. Where?
So you might want to look
like
through the camera to see what you're actually filming.
I'm new at this.
I know. Just saying. So this is the pass-through storage door here. Okay, yeah. So the pass-through storage here, not watertight.
Well, that's kind of a bummer. So we'll have to see the owner's manual because that gives you none of the information. When we open up this pass-through, it's interesting to see how differently this is built, being that this is a stick and tin. If you look just in the top of the pass-through, it looks like there's almost a cutout for a trapdoor to go into the pass-through from inside the trailer. We don't have that option in our trailer, and it's an interesting option that I thought I would want back when we were purchasing the trailer, and now I realize it wouldn't have been helpful at all for how we use this trailer. Okay. We have to replace all the seals. You got a little bit of water damage in there. The trailer itself was quite well taken care of considering how old it was. Moving into the trailer interior, it's had some features that we hadn't quite looked at yet. On the side of the bed, it's got a set of small steps that are carpeted that lead to the closet on each side of the bed. It also has an upper portion above the closet that is kind of a cubby. Being tall, I'm never going to walk up on those stairs to get to that cubby. On the other hand, having that little portion extended on the side of the bed would have been a nice end table. That would have been handy. The overhead cupboards on this trailer are far shallower than the ones we have. I'm not sure if that would have been a benefit or a hindrance, as it's nice to have the extra storage, and on the other hand, having a deeper cupboard above your bed leads to some painful experiences.
Yeah, there's no power to it right now. Get some outside air and vent.
Yeah, if you could leave that open, we're going to go up onto the roof and check it out. It's safe to say the window trim on this trailer was not something we would have been keeping. All of that would have had to come out and we would have changed out to curtains. These are a bit dated. That's interesting.
Yeah, I did not wipe my feet well enough.
No, it's definitely dirty. Next to the control center here for the power, the black tanks, the gray tanks, there's a command hook. I'm curious what the owners might have even used that for. If anyone thinks they know, please mention it in the comments. I would love to know your thoughts.
Did you turn those back off? What is that? It says, to ensure smooth operation, refer to owner's manual for yearly maintenance.
You can see me pause and look at the hand crank in the ceiling, pondering what it even might be for. I discovered when I went up on the roof, it's for an extendable television antenna.
It says up and down, so maybe it's something outside.
Might be.
And you see...
That's probably a speaker.
Yeah, I think that's a speaker.
Okay. Duotherm. See anything as a model number?
Pretty solid.
But
There's the binder.
I haven't been on top or under, but if the electrical works, I would say this is worth their asking price.
Mm-hmm. This is it does have under storage or under mattress shelf storage.
So they both open up or no?
Yeah, I just only lifted one.
What is that thing in the back?
Huh?
Carpeted block.
It's carpeted block. It just is.
Looking at the bench seating here, it reminds me of boat bench seating with the insulation pieces that are used as seats. We probably would have ultimately used this bench very much like we used the current one that we have in our trailer. So that would have matched 1 for 1. No idea.
Pressure rods. You want to hang something?
Maybe to stop
Yeah.
things from coming in.
Maybe.
Opening up the oven, we marveled at how small the oven was. Little did we know that they really don't come any larger when it comes to travel trailers.
So it's a 3-burner stove with an oven.
For those of you out there not already in the know, these ovens only fit about a 1/4 sheet pan, so it's tight. Glasses.
They're plastic glasses. They're melamine dishes,
This
but those are ceramic. It's a tiny sink.
We now know that this sink would not have been great for our usage, but workable.
Yeah, totally doable.
It's far too difficult to use with the 2 different basins. We like the deeper basin much better that we have in our current travel trailer. The faucet as well has the low angle, and it would have been very difficult to wash dishes in that.
Reverse. You should jiggle them a little bit, but they open.
Well, it's a lift.
Okay.
So they lock. So you lift. What's that? Keys. But I bet you that's for the lock. So. You're gonna have minimal space. Can you get in there?
There's a plumbing. Can you open that bottom drawer? Because there's some kind of cabling on the side.
That's okay. Hang on. You want both of them out?
Yeah. Just so that we can get in. See what's
Water pump.
in there.
Would appear to be your cold water pump because it's tied to your cold.
Okay.
PAX, so PAX is easy to work with.
That's good.
No idea. They're right here. Looking in under where the sink is, there are black patches of fabric attached to the sinks. I still don't know what those are. If anybody is aware, I would love to hear your thoughts.
Okay, so microwave.
Microwave, which could come out for more storage.
Because
you're never going to be able to use that on shore, unless you're on shore power. We open up the microwave and peek into it just as a part of the inspection, knowing full well that we haven't used a microwave in well over a decade and probably will not in the future. So that would end up being more cabinet space.
So 3-burner stove.
Fans clean, filters clean.
It has an oven with some appropriate sized pans.
Okay, so your gas is here. where it heats from. And your thermoregulator is inside far in the back.
There's a drawer right there.
Pans. And a trivet. And that does not want to come out. You ain't gonna want to go in easy. Well, screwed on that one.
I have no idea.
Let's see the
Owner's manual.
Your fridge.
That's a freezer.
It's hard to tell for sure, but I believe this fridge is a little bit smaller than the one we currently have. It's definitely older technology, so we would have dealt with some issues. My guess is we would have ended up replacing the refrigerator.
What's that? Just a vent?
Fuse boxes. We'll be spending a lot of time with that. With the design of how we set up our electrical system, the fact that the main controller here is under the refrigerator, our electrics would have been coming in under the bench seating. That would have required a bit of work to get the wiring to run.
Here, I'll do the bathroom because it's... Okay.
Yeah. I'm about 6'4", so the showers are always going to be difficult for me. Because the real question... I'll be damned. I mean, I touch the tub.
But if you took a half a step forward, you would be...
In the hole?
In the
But
hole.
it is interesting that this one has a tub, if you can call it that. I'm curious if anyone has ever even used one of those tubs, because you have to fold yourself into a little box in order to get in it. What good is the tub at that point? Opening your cabinets.
Be careful when you stand up. I'm right behind you.
This was a missed opportunity. I really should have walked over and sat on the toilet. That would have immediately told me what I needed to know on that limited amount of space. It's difficult to get a toilet into these travel trailers as is, and that one looks particularly compact. There is an outstanding amount of storage in this bathroom, and that would have been kind of exciting. Having that much extra space would have been handy. Can you hold the ladder? Back outside the trailer, I crawled up on the roof. It was obvious that the roof is going to need some TLC. The entire roof needed a fresh coat just to have a sealant and protectant. Definitely going to want to take care of the seals around the vents. The sealant is starting to crack. They've got the Eternabond tape now, so that is probably what we'll use rather than just filling it with lap sealant. That crank looks like the crank is like a television antenna.
Oh, okay.
Because it looks like you would crank the antenna up. Not something we're going to use or need. We probably would have ended up removing this. Roof's really sturdy. At this point, we're looking at the trailer and thinking this might be a great way to cut our teeth on a new trailer for us, a new to us trailer. It'll give us the opportunity to tow the thing around, get some experience, maybe make some changes in the trailer that we could then pull forward into another trailer when we upgrade it. That way, any mistakes we made inside the trailer were at a minimal cost to us, and we weren't doing damage to a newer trailer from the get-go. Nope. Try not to.
Oh, that's terrifying from the inside.
Right there.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm gonna pass the phone down to you.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
Okay, move it to the door.
Right there. Oh. Right there.
I found a spot in the roof that had what I can only describe as excessive give. So I passed the phone down to Carla, who filmed from inside while we looked to see if there was any issues.
I don't know that you can even see. Yeah. Uh-huh. That all looks fine.
Crawling under the trailer, most everything looked fairly solid and intact. There were a few sections of damaged skin on the underbelly, but it didn't show any evidence of water damage. It's interesting. There's nothing here. What's right here on the inside?
The edge of where the stairs are next to the bed.
So is there a floor?
Yeah.
Can you step on it? So I got nothing underneath. I think it may be insulation. There's a gas line that runs the whole length. Metal framing's good. Uh-oh. I found a section of the skin that had some significant sagging. When I touched it, it felt heavy. As I explored that area, I could tell that water collected inside the skin. Couldn't really tell where the water had come from, but it had to have gotten in somehow, and it wasn't being allowed to get out.
Well, that's kind of right in the middle of the trailer. Yeah, that's definitely full of water. But it looks like it's only the one section.
It is. It's only the one section. But then the question for it becomes, where'd the water come from? How did it get there?
Yeah.
Like, it's coming in somewhere and following probably a wall down.
Which is really hard to tell because like everything else is fine.
Uh-huh. Which means that is one of the issues that could just keep getting bigger on you.
Uh-huh.
Finding that standing water under the trailer was a significant concern for us. Knowing the water had been sitting there for some time, we needed to get a second opinion. We ended up going to a reputable repair place. We sat down with them and talked about what we found, showed them some of the video, and asked them ballpark figures, what were we looking at potential fixes. They mentioned that if the water hadn't sat there for very long, it might be a repair as small as $5,000, but if that water had been sitting there for a significant amount of time and it had really seeped into the wood and they had to do a lot of replacements, we were probably looking upwards of $25,000 to get the repairs done and to put everything in place. It was at that point that we decided to turn down purchasing the trailer. It's gotta be a gray tank. No, black? That looks like black. The people that were offering up the trailer had received a price from a company who bought trailers to rebuild them, and they were basing their sell price off of that price. When we called them and said no thanks, they went ahead and sold it to the other company, and it was hauled off within a week. We really dodged a bullet by finding that standing water. The moral of the story is do your inspections and check everything. You never know what you're going to find.